Hello, welcome once again. In the first two lectures of this course, we talked about the unmet need and the complexity of the role of people managers in medical affairs. Then we talked about approaching the hiring process when we defined the strategies and the skill sets needed for such a role. Today, we will talk about the selection process or the interviews. And we will start once again from the same skill set as defined in the previous step before or while approaching the interview process. What you see on the screen now is just an example of the skill set that was defined by a set of strategies that we put previously. But of course, each people manager role can have a different skill set depending on many factors as we discussed before. Not only this, but a single role of people manager in any medical affairs organization can have different skill sets in different times according to the maturity level of the medical organization. These skill sets will be used later to structure the interviews. And here is another different example. This time, an example for the structured interview questions based on the strategies and the skill set that was defined before. So, for example, if you wanted to test the candidate's leadership and communication skills, you can ask one or more of these questions. And on the other hand, if you wanted to test the candidate's ability to coach or mentor others, you can ask one or more of those questions. While these questions and this template that you will get as part of the course materials can serve as a guide or a reference point, every single position should have its own structured interview that is designed according to the strategies and the skill set previously identified for that role. Another important point is that in big pharmaceutical organizations, you may get an already set group of questions to use in the interview. This is helpful, and you can always use these questions as long as they address the capabilities you want to check, or you can add other questions from similar template as needed. This is another helpful template that you can modify, and also you will get this as part of the course materials. This template is a simple checklist to ensure that you will assess and test all the skills and capabilities needed for the people manager role, and you will not miss an important skill or capability. Now let's shift gears and talk about the interview process itself. As you are all senior leaders, so I will not go into details like preparing the environment or the interview room, checking the lights, and considering different time zones and stability of connections if the interview is virtual. Rather, I will highlight two important topics that should be considered by senior medical leaders like you when planning to select a candidate for a medical manager role that involves people management. The first topic is conducting psychometric analysis for the shortlisted candidates as part of any interview process to recruit a people manager or a people managers in medical affairs. In fact, I strongly recommend conducting such psychometric analysis. First, because of the complexity of the role. You know that the art of managing others demands a delicate balance of analytical acumen and empathetic understanding. That's why the significance of conducting psychometric analysis cannot be overlooked. The second reason why I strongly recommend conducting this analysis or such analysis is the benefit that we get if we conduct one. Psychometric assessments provide invaluable insights into a candidate's personality traits, cognitive abilities, and emotional intelligence, qualities that are not always evident through the traditional interviews or can be identified from a candidate's resume. This can shed more light on the candidate's potential to navigate the complexities of the role and understand their decision-making patterns and ascertain their compatibility with the team and the organizational culture and values. Psychometric analysis equips decision makers like you with a comprehensive understanding of a candidate's strengths and areas for development, guiding informed selection choice and ensuring that chosen managers possess the multifaceted attributes required for leading medical affairs teams to an excellent level or level of excellence. Definitely, it also can help avoiding major conflicts in the future. The second topic is how to eliminate any unconscious bias during the interview process to ensure you are selecting the best fit for the role. Before discussing how to eliminate unconscious bias, let's spend a few minutes discussing what is unconscious bias and the fact that it is a normal part of any personality. Unconscious bias refers to the subconscious attitudes or stereotypes that individuals hold about certain groups of people. These biases can influence judgment, decision making, and behavior without the individual being aware of. Unconscious biases are shaped by personal experiences, cultural norms, and social influences, and they can be either positive or negative. They can affect various aspects of life, including hiring decisions, interpersonal relationships, and everyday interactions. Addressing and mitigating unconscious bias is essential for promoting fairness, diversity, and inclusion in various settings. So, the first way to eliminate unconscious bias is structured interviews. This means asking every candidate the same questions in the same order and rating their answers on the same consistent scale. This is the first way to ensure that you are reducing any unconscious bias by you or any of the colleagues who are participating to interview the candidate. 2. Diverse interview panel. It is always preferred not to conduct an interview in a form of one-to-one meeting, but to include others to have different views. Some techniques like blind resume reviews. So review the CVs or the resumes blindly without knowing the names or the nationality, for example, or the gender, and try to filter them according to the qualifications in the CV or the resume without knowing any other information that might trigger any unconscious bias that may influence the decision or the selection later on. Use an objective scoring system, and we mentioned this earlier, to ensure that the scoring system is following the same scale. So you would be fair to all the candidates regardless their personal information. We have to avoid ambiguity in the process before and after as well. So make the job responsibilities very clear. Tell the candidates the expectations openly and clearly, and try to be very transparent when you tell them how you are going to assess them or what capabilities you are searching for. Another important way to eliminate unconscious bias is to have a feedback process going on from the start of the process till the end. So don't keep the feedback sharing as a final step after the interviews, the feedback with the panelists or the colleagues who are helping you to select the candidate in the panel, but could discuss and share views and obtain feedback after every session if possible. And a long term one, inclusive environment. Inclusive excellence goes beyond just eliminating bias. It's about creating an environment where diversity is valued and different perspectives are seen as an asset. So, in our evolution of medical affairs, this diversity can lead to more comprehensive research, innovative solutions, a holistic approach to patient care, but also it helps individuals that are participating in a selection process or interviewing candidates to reduce their unconscious bias significantly.